everybody. Welcome to the Patty G Show. I'm your host, Patty G. We are here with Sam Willard, owner of Harper's Haberdashery here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're going to be talking men's fashion. We're going to be talking running your own business and some do's and don'ts about the fashion industry, and also some education on what a haberdashery is. So I'm excited to talk to Sam about it. I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about his business and how he got to the gates of where he's at now. And before we get started, big thanks to the people making this possible, Falaya Real Estate and Government Taco. Be sure to stay to the end to hear a little bit more about them. And without further ado, Sam, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I know we've had lunch before at the shop and we visited, and you asked me to come on the show, and I'm very appreciative of that. So
good.
Thank you.
I appreciate the lunch, and that was a fun time getting to hear a little bit about your story and a little bit about your background.
I think we went a little over that day. Maybe just a tad.
Just a tad.
That's right.
But that's all good. We got plenty of time here. So who are you, man? Who is Sam Willard?
Well, I mean, who is Sam Willard? That's an interesting question.
What kind of a kid was Sam Willard?
Sam Willard was, I grew up here in Baton Rouge. I went to LaSalle Elementary, McKinley Magnet, Terra High School, went in the Navy. Baton Rouge was a little different back then than it is now. Wasn't as populated as it is now, and it's just a different place. It was a kind of a, even though it was a capital city, it was more of a small town atmosphere. You went different places, you did different things. You went to school with mostly people in your neighborhood. We got in on the some of the busing, but Baton Rouge wasn't a bad place to grow up. It's gates of Tigerland right there. I mean, you covered it's a good place to grow up. So,
yeah, I remember when Lobdell was still a 2-lane highway and had all that pasture land where Town Center is now.
So I grew up as before we moved to Baton Rouge. We moved here in 1981. I lived in a small town called Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and that's like Arkadelphia. That's small, but there's 2 colleges there. There's Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State right across the street, and that's kind of where I have such a lasting effect with my accent, and people often hear it sound like a duck. But we lived there. We came to Baton Rouge, and my grandfather was a retired chief in the Navy, and he put the Naval Reserve Center in here at Ryan Airport. That was his last duty station. And my parents had met at LSU, and they ended their relationship. And my mother lived in Arkansas, and my father lived here in Baton Rouge and was going back to law school. And we came to live with him, and my brother and I, we were so redneck that the spaghetti loop at the corner of Airline Highway and Plank right there, that goes around, we thought that was a roller coaster ride. You know what I'm saying? We had never seen anything like that. These bridges going back and forth. So, but it was a different thing. So we lived on Jefferson Highway back then, and back then Jefferson Highway was canopied by oak trees. Okay. So you had trees going. It was 2 lanes with ditches on both sides. So now this big place that everybody thinks is the ritziest place in Baton Rouge to live, and it was just a normal neighborhood for us. We grew up right there. I played Pac-Man and Frogger and all those games at the 7-Eleven at the corner of Lobdell and Jefferson Highway. Corporate Boulevard didn't even exist. The dead end, it was called Esplanade. So it was just a whole different area back then.
So Jefferson and
Jefferson was
Lobdell dead end right there, and it was just like an L?
Jefferson went all the way to Government Street like it did.
Right.
Okay, the Backpacker was originally right there next to where the pizza place is right now. Reginelli's Pizza was the original location of the Backpacker. It was 2-lane all the way up. College Drive, if you wanted to get to Esplanade, which is what it was called, Corporate Boulevard, the only way to go was down College Drive to get there, because it dead-ended right past the Bank One building right there. So where the Lamar building is, right past the Lamar building is where it dead end. And that Esplanade Mall where Sullivan's is and all that was like a little shopping mall and everything.
Okay, so that was way
back. Corporate Boulevard wasn't even built yet. It was still Phil Witter's pasture land.
Yep.
And Jefferson Highway was ditches on both sides. Old Hammond Highway was 2 lanes, and there wasn't a whole lot of nothing right there.
Right, because part of that right down Seven Oaks is part still agricultural land, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think one owner has a Shetland pony that they keep tied up in their front yard.
Yeah.
Right during the middle of subdivision. I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah, that's Baton Rouge. Everything's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty much. So, all right, you grew up in Baton Rouge.
So I come to Baton Rouge. I say, okay, so I lived in here, went to Terra High School, graduated Terra High School, and I joined the Navy a year before I graduated high school. Okay. So I rode my bicycle through Old Goodwood to Bon Marché Mall, which is now what Bon Carré or whatever is what it's called. That used to, the Bon Carré place up here where the I don't know what it's called. What's the place up there? The Bon Carré Industrial Center, right there at the corner of Lobdell. And
Lobdell and Airline?
It's called Bon Carré or something like Lobdell in Florida right there.
Yeah, you got like the tech park and all that in the subdivision.
Tech park, yeah. So the tech park used to be Bon Marché Mall.
Okay.
So that's where, and they had the Navy recruiting station, the Marines. Well, I went to join the Marines, and they said, you can't join until 6 months before you graduate high school. I said, okay. So I walked next door to the Navy. I said, y'all take me down? They said, yeah. So boom, signed up for the Navy right there a year before I graduated high school.
Hot dang.
So I leave the Navy. I turned 18 the first day of boot camp. Okay. My old man drops me off at the bus station at Florida Boulevard, the Greyhound, says, good luck, 17 years old. Okay. So I get on the bus. I go to New Orleans and I go to Pensacola for rescue swimmer school and air crew school. And I went to Orlando for boot camp, and then I was stationed out in California for a couple of years. And I flew as a loadmaster on C-2s. And, on Top Gun, when they say fly dog crap out of Hong Kong, that's basically what I did. I hauled a bunch of crap from all different places. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see a whole lot out there. So then I transferred and I moved to Guam. We initially went to the Philippines. Mount Pinatubo hit. We left the Philippines and went to Guam, as I was loadmaster on C-130s.
Okay.
So I flew all over Thailand, all over Asia. I've been to Iwo Jima, all those places. And what was kind of neat was it was the 49th anniversary or the 50th anniversary of all those battles. So I got to see all those Saipan, all those, and I lived on Guam. So basically, it was a good time. So then I get out of the Navy 6 months early. So I come back and I said, man, I don't want to sweat anymore. What can I do not to sweat? Well, my father was still an attorney here in town, and he knew another guy that owned a store here in town that was hiring. And I said, well, let me go try this. So I got out of the Navy on a Wednesday, and I started slinging rags on a Friday.
So slinging rags, what kind of?
That's selling clothes.
Selling guys.
So selling clothes on a Friday. Didn't know anything about selling clothes. Not a thing. Okay. Wow. But I had my first day, boom, boom. It was perfect. And then I said, I can do this. So
After one day.
So there I was. And I did that for 7 years for that store and went to Southeastern and commuted back and forth, graduated from there. And then I opened my store up in 2001.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, thank you for your service in the Navy. I appreciate that.
So 2 jobs in my whole life.
2 jobs. And one was learning the ropes to go open what you do
and
now.
I wasn't going to do it on my own. I said, I don't want to move. I want to cut me in. I couldn't get cut in. So I said, all right, that's fine. I said, let me make a lateral move but because we're whatever money we make, we're going to spend that much money, if not a little bit more. So I said, okay, I couldn't make a lateral move. I was married at the time. I said, well, all right, well, I'll just go open up mine. And it's been good. It's been bad. It's been good. It's been good. It's been bad. It's a roller coaster ride. Anytime you're in your own business, it's a roller coaster ride.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So what was that driving factor to get out and do something on your own?
I just couldn't make a lateral move. It's a money factor. You know what I'm saying? So
you just wanted to go to the next level, and he was like, no, you're good at this as a sales rep? Or?
Well, I just said, what am I going to do to make more money? And I said, okay, if I have a family, if I get married, all right, I was already married. Let's say I have a kid, I have a house, no car notes, all that stuff that comes along with that. What if they walk in one day and fire me? What if they walk in and say, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what am I going to do now?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We all have a little nest egg built up, or hope we have a nest egg built up, but it's like, what am I going to do now? I was looking for some security. So why not open your own business? That's real secure.
I
Trust
was
me.
about to say that is
real,
not.
No,
That's not what someone thinking I need security. Let me open my own business. That's not. That's the opposite effect.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. It's a complete opposite. But in my mind, it wasn't opposite. So that's what I did, and I went and I looked for some fixtures, and I opened up. My first store was next to Calandro's on Perkins and Segan, right next to the. There's a I don't know, one of those DMV places.
Yeah,
right
that's
there
an express lane.
So
you were in the current express lane. That was your storefront.
So there was a store next. So there's Tuesday Morning in the corner.
Yeah.
And then there was my store. No, it was Red Stick Sports. I think he's out of business now, but there was Red Stick Sports had a location, and then there was me right there. And I stayed there for 2 years, and then I moved out to my location on Highland at the gates of the country club, and I was there for, I think, 16 years.
Wow.
And then I moved next to where I am now, next to the French Market Bistro a couple of years ago, which by far has been the best move I've ever made.
So what made you pick that first location on Perkins and Segan?
You know, Dr. Hill, which is he's deceased now, but he's a big real estate guy here in town, and he owned that shopping center. And you know, and when you're in the business that you're in, be you're a barber or you're in a bar room, or you're gonna do what you know. You know what I'm saying? And I knew, okay, let me see if I can mirror what I learned.
Right
there,
you knew clothes.
Yeah, so let me see if I can mirror it and get as comfortable as I can get. You know what I'm saying? So it's and back when I started, it wasn't, the internet was in its infant stages. There was no social media.
Amazon was still selling books.
Yeah, I didn't even know what Amazon was. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm sitting there, and it was something. It was I can remember that I was 28 years old. I didn't have any children yet. My wife and I were living out on the border of East Baton Rouge Parish in a subdivision called the Segan Lakes, and I mean it was good, and it was but it was a rough road, man. I tell you.
I bet. I mean, getting anything off the ground.
Is
it's
crazy.
Challenge.
You know, let me tell you. I tell everybody, I said, you think you know how to do a business, but you really don't know anything.
Until you start
Until
one.
you get in there and you roll your sleeves up and you get to the nut. Just because you can sell clothes, don't mean you know anything about the clothing business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just
or
because
HR.
Yeah, and just like you in the money section, you know, it's been a constant roller coaster, but it's a good roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? It's an emotional high, and you know, as a salesman, you're only as good as that day. The next day, you're looking for another. And I hate to even compare this, but I tell everybody, I said, if you watch TV and they depict these addicted people, when they have they're looking for another fix the next day. So
it's true though.
You give me 2 or 3 days where it's slow, I'm not a very happy person. So,
right. Well, I mean,
anyway.
especially as a salesperson, because you're relying on that owner to do whatever they can to get somebody through the door.
Yeah.
And so your only highs when they walk through that door. But as a business owner, you've got that full cycle.
Yeah.
You get that high from getting that feedback, someone saying, hey, love what I purchased, you know, et cetera. Can I get a follow-up order and get something else? Or you have somebody saying, hey, I heard about you from so-and-so, and that's why I came here. And that gives you that high now.
That's what I like, is when somebody calls and says, I need to come in, I need something done. I said, you know, we can sit down, you get to know them, and they actually look at you and say, okay, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He has my best interest at heart. You know, because like I tell everybody, I said, my worst thing is I need somebody out there saying, boy, those clothes look like, I can't say those words on the air, but those clothes look like, you know, on you, you know, and so where did you get that? And I like people saying, oh, you look great. You know, that's what, you know, you look good. Where'd you get that from?
Right.
And that's what I need. You know what I'm saying? I need people talk, I need, you know, good chatter, not bad chatter.
Right.
So,
and especially with the ever evolving world of the social media, people want that personal attention instead of just seeing some model wearing it. Oh yeah, buy that item because it looks good on the model.
Yeah.
You'll sit down with some Louisiana boys that may not look like models.
Yeah, I fit a lot of, we do a lot of custom work. There's guys that come in, and I was just on the phone with a rep earlier, and they were telling me, I said, man, do you sell jeans? He said, what do you mean jeans? I said, do you sell jeans? He said, what do you mean jeans? I said, look, if a guy wears a size 40 dress pants, I don't want to put them in a 34 pair of your jeans just because they got Lycra in them. They stretch out to here. You know what I'm saying? And And it's crazy. So the business is, they make clothes for the masses. They don't make clothes for the individual. And so that's where I come in and just say, no, why, you don't wear it all the time. Why not get something that fits good and fits right? And that's where I come in and kind of plan your wardrobe.
Exactly.
You're too young for this, but I used to call it the $4.95 suit days. It's when a guy walked in the fall and bought 3 suits and a sport coat, shirts, ties, and everything, and wore to work every day. Okay, nowadays, a guy doesn't wear clothes like that anymore. So he says, okay, let me get a couple of good, nice suits. Let me get some custom suits. And that's where I say, look, why don't we do that? Get something that fits. That way, when somebody calls you, that's the way when Patty G calls and says, let's go out to a fancy restaurant, he can get dressed up and hang with you.
Right, and wear something comfortable.
That's right. That's just something that fits.
Yeah, because I know growing up, I was always the odd size.
Yeah.
I had like 32 waist, 32 length pants. And like looking for that in your mass, it's not the common. So you're sitting there for hours trying to find your size, where someone comes in, you measure them, and you're like, all right, this is what you need to wear. This is how it's going to fit.
I shopped in the Husky section.
Yeah. But it's just that attention to detail and that personal touch that I think makes Harper so special and so unique.
Well, I hope so. I mean, we work hard on it. So we're open 6 days a week. We used to be open on Mondays, but now I kind of plan my days next to, Justin McDonald has the French Market Bistro next to me, and they do a great business. So I kind of plan my days around them. If they're open, I'm open. You know what I'm saying? And it works out because I always get overflow, walk in after lunch, anything like that. So it tends to help out good. So
you get the overflow from
the French Market. Let's say you're coming to meet your wife and some friends for dinner, and they're not there yet. You might walk in, pick up a knit shirt, pick up a that kind of thing. So it's I get plenty of that. And I also, people say, "Wow, how long you been in business?" 20 years, you know what I'm saying?
Right, you've been there a while.
I've been there a while. So I get it's nice. We got a great center out there. We've got we got Sunshine Cleaners. We've got Karen Marino has her Pilates. BR Pilates is right there. Or Pilates Plus, I can't remember, but she's right next to me. And that's Gino's wife that has Gino's restaurant. And then there's me, and then there's the bistro, and then they're opening up a new kind of design place next to that. And then there's a eye doctor there. So we got a good one. We got the vet in the front, and then we got a couple of women's boutiques in the front. So it's a great little center, Right. So there's plenty of stuff to bring people to the center, so we all kind of feed off of each other.
And you're like right off the interstate too. You're not that far of a travel for somebody to go in town if they're passing through.
It's funny, in Baton Rouge, you've got people that live over close to the Bocage area that won't drive out to that area, and you got people that live in that area that won't drive out to the Bocage area just because of the traffic. It's kind of we're turning into a zip code living type place. But what I like is I feed off of Prairieville and all that south, Houma, Thibodaux, all that area. Also,
you get people from Houma and Thibodaux?
I got customers in Texas. I got customers in Houston. I got customers in Lafayette. So I travel a little bit also. If somebody needs some clothes and stuff, I do custom fitting at offices and stuff like that.
Okay, so how does that work exactly?
So I load up, we get bags of swatches and everything else, and just go call Segan, and we sit down and we map out a wardrobe there, and maybe I'll meet them at their home, and we'll go through their closet and make suggestions on that kind of stuff. So
really,
go down to New Orleans. We do about 500 custom shirts a year, and once you get somebody wearing custom clothing, sport coats, suits, pants, whatever they need, once you get them hooked on that, then it's done. Gravy. I mean, we're not gonna go buy something off the rack because it's not gonna fit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just that's the custom business. I mean, why go buy something that doesn't fit? Because you're gonna buy once, buy right? You know
100%. I'd rather invest. I see clothing as like an investment, so that it lasts you a long time, and you're able to wear it again and again and again without having it, wear out or just not fit after so many wears.
You can go to some of these places where you sit there and you can you buy one suit, you get 18 suits free. It seems like and then they charge you for $200 to alter them and everything else. Whereas you come see me, you already spent the money. You spent it once, and you're good to go. So.
Yeah. So now, are the items you carry? Is it unique brands that people are aware of, or is it like your Harper's brand?
So I carry a lot of Harper's brand, and you know, I hate without the fear of sounding too cocky. Somebody asked me, they said, "What separates Harper's from this store?" I said, "Me." You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's me.
It's true.
I mean, you know, what separates Harper's is me. You know what I'm saying? So I try to find unique items. You know, I carry Alden shoes. I carry Oxford suits. You know, Oxford, you're in the $5,000-$6,000 range. Alden shoes, you're starting at about $550. Both those are iconic American brands, but I also sell AFCO fishing apparel. So you can come in there and buy a fishing shirt and a pair of shorts for $100. You got a shirt and a short. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I carry a little bit of everything. I just kind of look for different unique items, you know, something where guys can walk in. And what's neat about the new store is I have a lot of walk-in traffic. So what I've learned is I've got to have that stuff sitting on the shelf.
You got to have the appeal.
I got to have the appeal.
The window shopping.
I got to have the different. I got to have the appeal. And I got to have that instant gratification for that customer that comes in and says, "I want this."
Absolutely.
They don't want to order it because they might get home, maybe that wine or that liquor rolls off their head. The next morning they're like, "Well, I don't want that anymore," and they cancel the order. But if they grab it and go, they got that instant gratification, which is nice.
100%. And they were able to take back something tangible. So on LinkedIn, we've got Aaron Watts. They say, do you custom suits for weddings?
I do tons of custom suits for weddings.
Okay, so you can do like whole weddings.
I do a lot of grooms. I'll do their weddings. A lot of fathers of the bride, that kind of thing. It's hard to do a lot of custom suits for groomsmen because what happens is you start spending $1,500, $2,000. A lot of people aren't going to spend that for a groom.
Right.
For it to be a stand in a wedding. You know what I'm saying? Because you figure, not that people don't have that kind of money, but you figure that guy 25 to 30 years old doesn't have that kind of money. So
yeah, I got married at 21.
Yeah, well, poor you. But anyway, so what I tell people a lot of times is I'll put together a deal like where the groom will come in and I'll say, we'll do your suit custom, okay? And then I'll cut you a little slack on doing some of this stuff for your groomsmen, you know, maybe get them in at like $325, something like that. Is it the best quality stuff? No. Is it better than you're going to get at a Men's Warehouse or something like that? Yes. You see what I'm saying? So, and that'll cover the alterations and then make sure everybody looks the same and looks good and all that. So.
Yeah, I mean, that makes complete sense to me.
But weddings are something, boy. You start getting about 8 to 10 suits because here's the deal. You got guys that live in Texas, guys that live in Mississippi, whatever, and they call them and they say, "What size are you?" Whatever. I said, no. You're either going to go get measured somewhere or you're going to come let me measure you because I don't want you calling in. You might have been a 32 5 years ago, but you're about 36 now, and that ain't going to fit. So they run in to get their suit right before the wedding, and then I'll have to start scrambling and everything else just to get them fitted right. So,
yeah, then you're going to have to do all the alterations and make sure it works, and weddings are a headache.
Been there, done that. Got the merit badge, and it's fun when it all comes together, but you have to have a method to the madness. And another method to the madness is I say, look, I'm not collecting from all these guys. You pay, you collect. You see what I'm saying?
Really?
Because then a lot of times what happens is these groomsmen, they'll wait till the last minute, and I'm sitting there saying, no, you pay me, and then you can collect from your groomsmen. Because when you're on them, when old Sam's on them, they're going to say, oh, I'll let that slide a little bit down the road. So,
yeah, they'll get to it when they get to it, right?
That's it. There's the old train coming by.
Oh, yeah, that train's like a staple in this show. It's like every other episode we'll have the train roll through here or sirens. Oh, speak of the devil, Flynn Foster said Sam's a great man.
I love Flynn. Flynn's a good dude. He's a simple guy. He's always whatever Flynn says. You know, you can take it to the bank. It's good.
Oh yeah.
And you need Flynn. He's there for you too. I
Absolutely.
love Flynn. That whole group at Guarantee. You know, you have Gordy and all those guys. It's good eggs.
Yeah,
so,
they're a whole wonderful bunch.
Yeah,
and they're just a blast to be around and know so much and so well connected in the community, which is great. So you've done 3 moves.
Yeah.
Right. You've done Perkins and Segan.
I forgot to tell you, I had a downtown store.
So you had 2 stores at once?
2 stores. This is smart.
Okay, how was that?
This is smart to do. When you've been open about a year, why not go ahead and open another store while you're doing it? You know, you hadn't quite got your feet.
The safety net, right? All about the safety net.
That's all about the safety net. So I opened up at the corner right next to right kind of down. It was North and Third. Okay, and so it was. So do you know where the Subway is at the corner of North and Third? There's a Juice Junkie that's there now.
Yes.
So that was a Thomas Kincaid gallery that was owned. So I went in there, and it was dirt cheap. The rent was $600 a month. So I said, I'll try
for
this.
downtown real estate.
Yeah, downtown real estate. Now this is in 2003. So I had it for I think I had it for a year down there, and then I shut it down. But it was I put a guy down there that I knew, and it just didn't work out. And it was as a salesman, especially in a new business, if you're going to sit and wait on somebody to walk in the door, you're going to go broke. Okay, it's just not going to happen unless you're in the mall or something like that, and you got tons of people walking. So I'll get back to that in a second. But so I had it down there, and I had a shoe shine guy down there, and we were the best thing about that was a place to watch the Spanish Town Parade because it turned right there in front of the store. So I had two great Mardi Gras parties there, but $600 a month down there for the, with electricity and all the other stuff and overhead. So I always used to laugh. I said, I always tell them, I always used to come up with a number, and I said, you go downtown much? And everybody said, yeah, I go down there a little bit. I said, well, I got some money running around down there, and I'll throw out some bogus number. And I say, if you find it, I'll split it with you because I lost it. Because I did, let me tell you. But I a little before my time. But downtown Baton Rouge is coming back. I walk down there a lot during the weekends, and I like downtown Baton Rouge. It's coming along. It's cleaning up. It's got a little bit left to go, but it's a hidden jewel in Baton Rouge, downtown.
There's a lot of improvement that's been happening over the last decade or so, which is huge.
Yeah, it's really, it's beautiful. Some of the state buildings back there in the back that are, I think the appellate courts back there, there's a little park area and everything that you can walk in. And downtown Baton Rouge is not bad at all anymore. But back to the selling part. So I was laughing when I first opened. We didn't have the internet like we talked about earlier. We didn't have all that. But we did have a big phone book that was about that thick. Mm-hmm. And I would flip through that phone book and say, oh, I know that guy. Let me call him. Oh, I know that guy. Let me call him. I know that guy. I'd say, hey, Sam Willard, how you doing, man? Yeah, good. Yeah. Can you come buy some clothes for me? Blah, blah. Yeah, I'm just checking to see how you... No, you're not, Sam. You're trying to sell me clothes. Bingo. Yeah, so I just would flip through the phone book and find it. But I'd make 150, 200 calls a day sometimes just to get the thing rolling.
That's incredible.
Well, you had to, man.
And that was like the old white pages, was it?
It was white pages and yellow pages. It was about that thick. It was about 3 inches thick.
And you just 100, 200 people a day.
Yeah, all the time. As a salesman back then, that's what you had to do, cold call. I was no different than the New York Life salesman or Northwest Mutual or whatever. It's a game of numbers.
Yeah, the products are different, but the game is the same.
Yeah, so it was, I'll never forget it. I don't do too much of that anymore, but man, those were some rough days.
Oh my gosh, I bet. I mean, because you think being downtown with a community that's downtown, the people in the suits and the ties, you would think a place like yours would just flourish in the downtown environment.
Well, there's a store down there now called Bates and Thigpen, and they've been down there a long, long time, and they're actually pretty good guys. And they cater to that downtown, that state worker business, and I think they do uniforms with the post office and the sheriff's department, and I think a couple other ones. But I actually visited with those guys a few months ago, and after been in the business almost 30 years, I'd never met them, and I went and visited with them for a little while, and they do a good job down there. They cater to who they need to cater to down there. So it's a rough crowd down there sometimes because, you got a lot of people that go to work 30 minutes early and take a 30-minute lunch. That way they can leave at 2 o'clock on a Friday. And the last thing they're thinking about is coming to see Sam Willard and buy a coat or tie.
Oh, yeah. No, they're trying to get in and get out as quick as they can.
Yeah, because of that great traffic.
So Stephen Smith on LinkedIn says, I'm looking for horizontal seersucker.
Stephen was one of my former employees. We had some good times. Stephen... I'll go out there on a limb sometimes and buy some very ugly stuff. And one time I bought some seersucker pants that were horizontal. Instead of straight vertical, they were horizontal. Those didn't sell very well. They went to the old sale rack.
Yeah, I don't see that working.
I don't see it. See, I don't sell a whole lot of seersucker now anyway.
In South Louisiana, you don't sell a lot of seersucker?
No, that's not my game, man.
Okay.
You got to sell a lot of $295 suits to make any money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not my game. But people don't dress like they used to. I mean, people buy 2 or 3 sport coats or something like that. But, you know, sometimes you go to weddings, people don't even have a suit on. Sometimes it's crazy. And it's you know, used to be if you went to Ruth Chris, which I think is a fairly nice restaurant. It's probably one of the nicest restaurants in town. Most people have a coat on. Mm-hmm. Not anymore. Got people in there in shorts. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
Yeah, so it's kind of for. Then you know it's you know, but what's crazy is you sit there and you ask somebody and you say, well, why you got shorts on? Well, my money's good in shorts. Okay, that's fine. But that's just things that the standards in the restaurants have kind of. You know, I think everybody, I mean, because what is there to do in Baton Rouge? Okay, you got LSU, and you get to eat out.
Yeah.
That's the 2 things you do in Baton Rouge, right?
They got some LSU, other things, LSU, but yeah.
And you eat out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny. People don't dress like they used to go into restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, well, the workplaces dress down.
Workplaces
started with. I work in an accounting firm, and I'm wearing jeans and a button down.
Well, it started with Casual Friday.
Yep.
So everybody started wearing knit shirts, and then what happened was everybody started. They said, "Okay, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday," and then it said no tie, and it's gotten to the point. But the problem is you got young guys coming in there that are wearing these khaki pants that look like they slept in them and everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they say, well, they're
exactly
khaki pants. No, they're not khaki. I mean, you look like, you know what I'm saying? There's that word coming out again. But you look at, it's just amazing to me that people, they'll say, well, it's just going to work. I said, yeah, but you're not going to take your girlfriend or your wife or a date out looking like that.
Right.
You could get dressed up for that, so you can't get dressed up to wear. I mean, have a little pride in what you're wearing. You know, you're not going to go to jeans and to work in wrinkled jeans.
No.
Hopefully, you're can you say boss anymore, or can you say? I mean, I don't know if that's.
I think boss is still appropriate.
I mean, who knows? You know, my wife told me the other day you can't say master bedroom anymore. You have to say something like that. I said, okay, whatever.
Grand bedroom.
Grand bedroom is what she said. So, you know, your boss is not going to, I know in my store, if you're thin skinned, you're not going to stay there long because I'm going to heckle you to death until you start looking and dressing the right way.
Someone's going to walk in and say, all right, you're going to say you can't leave in those clothes.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen Smith. Stephen, he worked for me. I have a lot of guys that have worked for me. I got some doctors, some lawyers, some guys that are high up in construction firms. And, you know, in 20 years, I've had a lot of college kids come through there. And it's fun to watch them. You know, now some of them have kids, and it's kind of neat to see. You know, I'm still slinging rags, and they're all being doctors and lawyers. You know what I'm saying? So
but they still come and shop with you.
That's right. They still come back and visit every once in a while. So.
Okay, so you had 2 locations after a year in business, which was, you know, in your head, the right move to make.
Yeah.
And then you brought it back down to 1. You said you were in front of the Baton Rouge Country Club?
No, I was next to Calandro's, and then I closed that store and moved out in front of the Country Club of Louisiana.
Country Club of Louisiana.
There's nothing to put in front of Baton Rouge Country Club unless you want to sit on Essen Lane.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I was trying to figure out. I was like, where in the world is he in front of Baton Rouge?
And you bump the beggars and everything else. You can put a store right there in the median. But that's a story for another day. But
so you're in front of the Country Club of Louisiana.
Yeah, and I was there. So there's a store in there called Chatterbox now, which is a women's dress store. And but I was the first one in there, and I was there for a long time.
So what made you move?
This spot came up next to French Market Bistro, and I was looking for some walk-in traffic, and the traffic had gotten so bad out there. It's once you get to right past the country club, it backs up right there, getting to the interstate where the Blue Bayou is, everybody going to Prairieville and everything else. And I just said, I needed to change. I was getting kind of burnt out, looking for something different, looking for something new. And it was definitely worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, because
Very
then
exciting.
you're at that location. It's almost like you're waiting for someone to come see you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're relying on, is someone to actually come to your destination and shop your store. Whereas where you're at now, you've got a whole
Walk-in traffic.
marketplace that's going to pull people to go there. And so, I mean, I think it's one of the
location's
excellent
great.
moves.
So we moved in there, and then so I moved in there in August of 19, and then rolled around to March. What happens? Bam! Shut me down.
And what has it been since 19? March of 19.
Yeah. So in March of 2020, John Bell calls everybody and says you got to shut down if you're
Non-essential.
essential business. So I went home for about 4 months, and we'd come to the store and we'd open up for about, just to get dressed, to have somewhere to go. I'd go over there and open up and hang out for about an hour, and then I'd leave and come home. I had another guy that worked for me, and he would stay till about 12. But as bad as COVID seems to different people, 4 months off for me was a blessing in disguise. It was a time to reflect, time to really think about, okay, what are we going to do going forward different? Take care of some personal issues that I needed to just, get back with the man upstairs and visit with him a little more often. And it was good. I mean, it was stressful, but it was good. And
Right.
And then we opened back up in the fall, and this year's been a good year so far also. So I dare to find anybody, I guess, as you could say, that COVID was good to Harper's. Okay, the amount of federal funding put out by the SBA, the PPPs, the EIDLs, those kind of things. If you were doing what you were supposed to do and you were playing your cards right, a lot of businesses, including myself, came out ahead with this from where they were before. And
Right.
it was a good lesson for me to learn about where I spent money, what I spent money on, and how are we going forward, and how can I become a better business owner and a better family man. So,
Yeah. I mean, it gave a lot of people time to reflect if they used it wisely.
yeah.
You know, there's some people that didn't, and some people didn't make it through for personal reasons because they couldn't handle the time away from people. And it's a sad reality. But those that took the time to grow personally, spiritually, like you said, is really the best use of that time to be off.
Well, you also got to, like I tell everybody, I said, look, I got to work, okay? I got 2 kids at home, one in college, and
Bills
one
keep coming
in high
in.
school. Bills don't stop. Okay, you got to work, and you got people and the family people that they're relying on you. And my wife works, and thank goodness for that. And she pulled us through COVID. But if you want to raise your children right, bills don't stop.
No.
Right? You got to keep going.
They never stop.
They never stop. So, yeah, it's easy to roll over and say play dead and not worry about it. But I'm just not that kind of person. So, I mean, I tell everybody, I said, I might pay you a little late sometimes, but I'm eventually going to pay you.
Yeah,
So
we'll get there as soon as
we'll get there
as
when
soon
we
as I
get there.
can.
Yeah.
So what was the idea behind the naming? Harper's Haberdashery.
So my name is
Haberdashery.
Samuel Harper Willard.
Okay,
Okay. And
that's a name. I like.
Yeah,
I just like Harper as a name.
so that's when I said I shouldn't. And looking back in retrospect, I probably should have just called it Sam Willard's. But it was, and I have played with the logo. Everyone would call it Sam Willard's Harper's Haberdashery or whatever. But Harper is my middle name, and I just came up with that. And I was up a catchy name, Haberdashery, and there's where there's where I went.
So, I mean, I think that's a great way to name a business using your middle name. It's catchy, and it so happens that something in your field was able to flow off the tongue easily with your name as well. But what does haberdashery mean?
Well, men's accessories, shirtings, that kind of thing. And so Harry Truman had a haberdashery in Kansas City.
Yep.
And he unfortunately didn't make it, but he went on to better things.
Yeah.
But it's just a men's shirting, accessories, shoes, ties, belts, etc.
We looked it up beforehand, and it was like Haberdashery is a haberdasher store. And I'm like, that doesn't answer my question.
They don't do a very good job.
So then we finally able to determine that's a mean siren. So we're finally able to determine, like you said, a Harper. This was the B, Haberdashery. Thank you. Haberdashery.
H-A-B.
Mispronouncing it all this time.
My email address is harpershaberdashery@gmail. Okay, so you try to explain that and with my redneck accent, trying to portray that over the telephone. Somebody, I say, look, let me just email you from my email. What's your email address, real quick, and then you can send me something back.
Yeah,
so,
and that's sometimes in the South. That's what we got to do.
And it's funny how the business has evolved now. It's now with when you place orders and you do stuff, it's all email.
Oh yeah,
everything is email.
Everything. Well, because now you got that written timetable. You got that written communication. You got, instead of getting, on the phone we said this and that. Well, no. On an email you can't lie on an email.
No, you can't.
I can say, I made an order right here.
There's a lot of people that can get tough on an email though.
Oh my gosh.
You get tough on an email, and then when you call them on the telephone, it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Willard, how you doing today? Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Yeah, you awful tough on that email, huh?
Oh yeah, it's the email is behind the keyboard.
That's right.
You can project it.
And I think, to be honest with you, I think that's a problem that we have in our generation, is y'all's generation and the generation coming up, is people can't talk on the telephone. They can't get anything done. And I say, hey, Patty, did you talk to someone? Well, I emailed them. Well, hell, you emailed them at 8 o'clock this morning. It's 4 o'clock. Haven't you heard back from them? Don't you think? You probably could have called them and had it done by 8:30. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, because, that's everybody's cop-out nowadays. I emailed them. I texted them. Well, how about you pick up the dang telephone and talk to them a little bit? That's why they have telephones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, I think that's a big problem with the communication skills that we have right now.
Yeah, it's a matter of
You got another question coming through?
No, I'm just checking to see, make sure the screen went black. But I think we're good. Emails is great when you need that order reference to say, hey, this is what I ordered. These are the explicit instructions. But if you're calling someone to get something done and say, or you're sending the email, call them. Hey, I just sent you an email with the order details. Did you get it? Read through it. All right, great. Can we get that? Can we get it in?
So it's funny, as I've got a good friend of mine, Trey Beal, that runs Gulf Coast Office Products, and has for years. But, we're all kind of within 10 years of each other, and we all do business together just to kind of help it. So Trey every year would roll in this big old fax machine. It's probably something that like Flynn has at his office. I mean, it's a size.
I've seen one at Flynn's
It's like this big. I mean, it's high, and I don't know how to use half of it. And the only reason I would get that is because, like you were talking, a paper trail, because I would scan something or fax it, and it would print me out what I faxed with the date and the time. And that's the only reason I had that thing. But now I'm scanning.
And it would say received or say sent. And you had that paper confirmation.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Emails is that bittersweet. You don't get that instant reply, but I can say, well, no, I see that you read receipts.
Oh, you can do that?
You can do read receipts that shows someone opened the email. And then I can say, no, I saw you. I got proof you read it.
I better turn that off on mine in case somebody emails me and I don't want them to know.
It's like read receipts on your phone.
I'm not getting back to them.
It's like read receipts on your phone. Someone texts you and you open the message, they'll get read on such a date.
Yeah.
And then they're looking, well, Sam hadn't replied to my text message and I saw he read it yesterday.
Yeah, that's something, man. That's a problem, though, we have with phones and everything else, is nobody can put it down. Yeah. Everybody wants to be accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I think that's a problem that we have. I think that
it's hard to balance.
Well, I mean, we walk around and you go, oh, well, so-and-so texted me. Why hadn't they texted me back? Or so-and-so, I texted blah, 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 blah. Why hadn't this? Why hadn't that? And it's I don't know. It's crazy, man. People always, that mind is a terrible thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we always want everyone to be open at all times.
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, you've got customers, I'm sure, that may call you on the weekends or something.
Well, I forward the calls to my cell phone. So when I leave there, the calls go to my cell phone. Now, if you need me, I'll meet you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't care if you need shirts, socks, or whatever. Now, I'm going to kind of feel you out. If you're calling me for a pair of socks, we might have to work on something like that. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what separates me from the other guy. When you
Right.
call Harper's, you get Sam Willard. You're not getting, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I tell the guys that work for me. I said, I want everybody's name, everybody's phone number that walks in the store. If they call, I want their name and number. Well, we sold them something already. I don't care. I want to call and thank them for coming into the store. I want to call and say, maybe you're looking for something else because, you know, it's I got a lot of friends that are car dealers also. And when we talk all the time and we laugh, unless you're a car nerd like I am, you're going on a car lot for something. You know, you're going looking for something. Okay.
Yeah.
When you walk in Harper's Haberdashery at 16645 Highland Road on the end of the outskirts of East Baton Rouge Parish, okay, you're coming looking for something. That's what I tell my guys. Find out what it is.
It's something.
Well, they said they're just looking. What were they looking for? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
They didn't walk into the store to peruse.
Yeah, that's it. We're not walking lunch off. This ain't the
Right.
mall. This ain't the old Woolworth counter. Here's another thing too. Back in the old Bon Marché Mall, they used to have a Woolworth, and all the Woolworth little drugstore, dime stores had little lunch counters, and they had the old Piccadilly down there. So
Yep.
what would you do? You ate at Piccadilly. You walked through the mall, and you walked your lunch off. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
that's not what Harper's Haberdashery
No,
is.
we're not a gum chewing store.
Yeah. But
So-
it's that personal touch that businesses I feel like are losing nowadays. You place the order online, it's mailed to your house. The only time you ever need to come in is if you need a fitting. You know,
Oh,
but
it's
with you, it's
crazy.
like, no, you're going to go in there, the Harper's, and Sam's going to sit you down and say, what do you need? What events are coming up? Why are you here?
Yeah, what
Let's
are we doing?
fit an outfit for
Before
you.
you waste my time
Mhm.
and I waste your time selling you a bunch of stuff that you don't need or you don't want, let's talk about what we got. And I think customers generally like that
Oh, 100%.
because, you know, if you can't afford a $2,000 suit, then why should I sell you a $2,000 suit? Okay. Now you might say, I want this $2,000 suit, and that's fine. I'll sell you the $2,000 suit. But I think it's wrong of me. Let's sit down, let's get a game plan, let's find out if we have a budget, and let me show you the difference. Okay, let me
Right.
show you the difference between a $395, $495 suit and this suit. Let me explain to you the difference. And it might be that you might want it. Do you see what I'm saying? Or it might be say, you know, and I'll flat out tell you, I can't do it for that. If it's something that I can't do, because back to what we talked about earlier, is I need cheerleaders out there. I don't need somebody walking around going, God, that looks like crap on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That does me no good, does you no good.
Well, yeah, and you don't sell products that are going to have somebody dressed like that.
No, I don't sell that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do sell whatever somebody needs. Whatever is your budget. If you tell me I got this much to spend, okay, this is the avenue we're going to go down. This is what we're going to do. Okay, it might be where somebody says, okay, I got this much to spend. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do custom shirts, but we're going to get an off the rack suit, and we're going to do it that way. And I think we can kind of measure because look, just because I sell a lot of custom doesn't mean everybody needs custom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain guys that they don't need custom. And I'll flat out, unless they want that, tell them that. So,
Which is great to hear because it's not like you're in, and again, as the business owner, you're not as a sales rep who's going after that commission. As a business owner, you're going after that relationship.
yeah, that's what
You're going after that person to come back again and again and again because that is the owner, like we said in the beginning, that's that high that you need. You need that
you
repeat.
like that repeat business. You
Yeah.
like that guy coming in and saying, oh, that the only problem is if you sell quality product like I do, a lot of times the stuff doesn't wear out. So
They're coming in for a variety.
yeah. So you get guys that just, but if you got if you got a guy that wears clothes hard, you know what I'm saying, he's going to have to come in and repeat and stuff like that and buy different things. So,
Yeah.
which also is cool because what I'll do is I keep an old school manila folder on everybody with all their swatches. So you can come in and I can lay it all out and say, okay, we did this, 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 and this last time. Let's do this, this, and this time.
So you still do it with paper,
Paper,
not
baby.
on a little computer.
Paper. What happens if that computer goes down? What happens if you walk in and say, let's look at what I bought oh, my computer's down. Not love it. So we can't do business anymore? Is that what you're telling me? That's what everybody says.
Valid
I call
point.
The computer's down. Oh, really? The computer's down. How many times? Our computers are down. We can't look that up.
That's
so let's
true.
just sit here. Okay, computer's down.
That's true.
So that's not only wasted man hours, but that's wasted sale dollars also.
Yeah, you're
You know what
100%
I'm saying?
right.
So all of a sudden, it might have taken me, it might have taken you 2 months to get to my store. You might have a busy lunch schedule, a busy whatever, and then all of a sudden, you come in and you say, Sam, I want to buy this, this, and this. Can you pull up what? Oh, shit, man. Excuse my French. The computer's down. Oh, well.
Too bad.
Too bad. I'm going somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
I'm going,
I get
computer's down. Can't work. Computer's down.
I get it. No, you're 100% right.
Internet's down. So here we go. Back to the phone calls and all that other stuff.
Back to the phone books.
Back to the basics, baby. Computer's down. I love it. Internet's down. Can't talk to you.
I love that. I love that.
That's the truth. The internet.
No, I get it. I get it. I can't tell you. I've been to several places trying to, whether it be pay with card or look up something on the computer, and they've been down.
How about
you're
when you
not
hand
right.
somebody
You're not wrong.
a $20 bill and ask them to count your change back? They're like, at the computer, they can't do it.
Yeah.
They can't. I mean, they just can't. I mean, they're like,
It takes them a hot minute.
yeah, cash. What is cash?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, computer's down. What else you gonna do? You give me a free meal?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know?
It is what it is.
Backup. Gotta have my backup. What do you those little junk drives that everybody backs up their computers with?
Flash drive. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the show, and I have a set.
Wow, already.
I told you before we got started.
Man.
It's easy.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even get to talk about Baton Rouge.
Well, we
and
will.
The traffic and the trash and everything else on the ground.
But there's one of the final questions we ask involves Baton Rouge, so you can take the spin on it however you wish.
Yeah.
But we do have 4, and one of them is what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Wow. Something I did as a kid that I wish I still did today. Back when I was a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts. And I remember going up to Avondale, which is up north of Clinton, which I thought was the biggest place in the whole world. I said, man, this campground is huge. And I'll never forget going camping on those fall days. We'd meet at the Lutheran Church on Terra Boulevard, and we'd meet and we'd leave on Friday, and we'd come back on Sunday. And I'll never forget that there's just not a care in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I miss those. You can't do that anymore. You can't go camping. You can't do really anything. I guess you can go camping, but what do you have when you go camping? Your cell phone, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can turn it completely
You got to
off.
leave it off in the car and just don't touch it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So you've done a lot over your career of, coming up on 30 years of being in business. What are 3 lessons you've learned along the way?
I guess number 1, you got to trust in God. That's a big one. You got to, it took me a long time to get to that point where you just got to do the best you can, work as hard as you can, and just trust that it's all going to work out. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay too. Number 2, just because the business does $100,000 doesn't mean you got $100,000 to spend.
That's a fact.
That's a big one. And number 3, probably one of my regrets is you got to take time with your family. You know what I'm saying? Just you got to realize that you have to take that family time. Just because the store's open, you don't have to be there 24 hours, 7 days a week. And that's a lot of problems that I think a lot of entrepreneurs have is they spend a lot of time with their business because they know that that's the fuel that makes the car go. But they also got to realize that they got to have that family time also.
Yeah, that life-work balance it comes blended to where your life is your work. I mean, I'm a victim of it, and I fall under that so many times. My wife's like, you're going to stop working, you're going to stop sending emails. Worst I've had was I was up in a Nashville mountain, and I got a phone call and had to pull out the laptop and remote in. She's like, what are you doing? We're in, Gatlinburg. Why are you replying? I'm like, something's got to happen. It's got to happen right now.
We got that phone.
And it's tough to unplug. It really is. So, I mean, I think that is an excellent lesson of knowing when is the time to unplug and be with your family and really cherish those moments that you have.
Yep.
So the third question I typically ask, which I'm very curious as to how you're going to take this, is what do you love about Baton Rouge?
Wow, what I love about Baton Rouge. I love Baton Rouge. It's a good community. We've got a lot of issues with crime and trash and addiction. And, I hate to see this wasn't just built overnight.
Right.
Okay, the problems that we have in Baton Rouge took years and years and years to come to where they are today. I love Baton Rouge. It's a good town. It's a good place for my kids. My kids both are in Catholic school system. But I'm gonna say what I don't like about Baton Rouge is in Baton Rouge everybody points a finger at everything. It's nobody's fault. Nobody owns up to their problems here, and everybody's quick to point the finger at somebody else when something that they should take care of. And I think if people would start taking care of their own business, doing the things that they need to do. I think there's a lot of divisiveness, I guess that's the word, in Baton Rouge, both racially and politically. And I just think that, only way it's going to get better is if everybody works together. And
Right.
it's simple things from picking up a piece of trash on the side of the road. If everybody would just do a little bit, you'd be amazed at how good of a town Baton Rouge could be.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does one small act.
One small
A
act
day.
turns into great acts.
100%. I'm
So-
right there with you. As we have a picture of Coach O on the back wall here at Uncle Earl's, it reminds
That's
me
my
what he
man.
says, one team, one heartbeat.
Yeah, Coach is a customer of mine, and I do all his clothes, and he's a great man. I owe a lot to Coach O. But it's a one team, one heartbeat. I mean, we do, it's simple things that people could do in Baton Rouge. It would be such a better place. It's just, and I'm guilty of it. I'm not guilty of the trash thing, but I can get hot headed in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. We
But
all
a lot
can.
of times when I look at the reason I got hot headed is a lot of things I did myself. You know what I'm saying? So just look at yourself in the mirror and see if you can make yourself a better person and do something good that day.
100%. And so for the I love that. And the final question is, what can I do to help you?
Like I said, I need people out there talking about me. People that you can put me on your show, talk about me, tell your friends. What can you do to help me? Just go out and like I said, do your little part. Do your little part. And then if you do that, then, hopefully you can get somebody to do their little part. That helps me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you asking me on the show. It was a good time when you first said it. I said, God, an hour. What are we going to talk about for an hour? But man, we've been on an hour.
Absolutely, we have.
And
Yeah.
it was a good time. I really appreciate it.
Well, good. I'm glad you had fun, man. I'm glad we made this happen, and I'm thankful for everybody else that are tuning in, whether it be through the LinkedIn Live, through the video and YouTube, or the audio version on whatever podcast platform, or Talk 107.3 FM. If you're listening to us on the radio, I really appreciate it as well. This is the latest rendition with Sam Willard, the owner of Harper's Haberdashery, right there, right out past Highland. Before you get to the interstate, what is that address again?
16645 Highland Road, right next to French Market Bistro.
That's right. Go get you a good dinner and go get you a good outfit to complement the dinner.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Sam, and a big thanks to our wonderful two sponsors, and that is Falaya Real Estate, a local Baton Rouge built-based app helping homeowners not only save money on their sales and closing costs, but also become a new part of the community by finding a house where they're going to raise a family and raise a new lifestyle. And also to Government Taco. We talked about Flynn Foster over here in the show, and Government Taco, let me tell y'all, they've got an excellent selection of food. They're right there on the corner of Jefferson and Government Street. Mondays is Margarita Monday, so when you listen to the Patty G Show, go to Government Taco and get you a good discounted Margarita Monday. Tell them Patty G sent you. And with that, that's everything, y'all. Thank y'all so very much. I'm Patty G, host of the Patty G Show, here with Sam Willard, owner of Harper's Haberdashery. Y'all have a good one.